Well, greetings once again from Pennsylvania. Today is April 4th, and I actually haven't been out for a while filming anything for reasons which I'll get to maybe a little bit later. But I'm headed to a place called Pilger, or in English it means Pilgrim's Rest. Sounds pretty nice. And yes, all of Pennsylvania is on what's called a stay-at-home order, but in that order you are allowed to be outside engaging in outdoor activities such as hiking, which is what I'm doing. So I'm not breaking any law by being out here. And they say you should be using social distancing if you do that, and there's no one else out here. I am by myself. So there were other cars in the parking area, but I'm not in any danger from anybody, and if I was positive for the coronavirus, I'm not endangering anybody else. So I've been getting a little bit of hate comments in some of my videos about being out. I'll talk about that probably in the next video. Some things. So I am on the Appalachian Trail right now for a little bit. Some people have been getting on me about that, saying the Appalachian Trail is closed. In some locations it is, but here it is not. Alright? I'm gonna let that go for now. Alright. So you will be hearing some highway traffic. Route 501 is just down that way. I'm just north of Bethel here in Berks County. And the spring we're headed to is kind of almost right next to the highway, so we will have to deal with some highway noise. I think you can hear it right there. But even that highway has some historical significance tied to the spring that's over here. And I think you can park at the spring, but I'm walking there because I'm going to be making another video out here as well, so I thought I might as well just hike out there to the spring. I have been staying closer to home. I've been kind of trying to stay in my home county or even over in Lebanon County. But this is my home area. Not quite up here, but that farm I always talk about in my videos when I had the goats and stuff, that's just down on the other side of the mountain here in the valley. So this is my home ground. I'm kind of revisiting a lot of the places I went to when I was a kid, about 14 years old and stuff. And this spring is one of those places I visited. And the other place I'm going to today is another one of those places. So I'm not really getting out to places I want to get to, farther away, but this whole, pandemic is causing me to kind of revisit things from my childhood, or maybe not, my junior highhood when I was 14. So that's kind of interesting. Places maybe I would have normally not made videos of, but now I am. I'm kind of having fun doing it. So, all right. So here is the sign for the spring. If you're on the Appalachian Trail, like I said, this is just right off the road, right off of Route 501 as well. But I wanted to hike out here. So like I said, the name of this spring is Pilger, which is German, I think. But in English it means Pilgrim's Rest. Now the history of this spring would extend, centuries or thousands of years, back in the Native American times, because there was that Route 501 is an old Indian trail through this area, going from Womelsdorf, PA up to, I think, Sunbury, up along the Susquehanna River. So parts of 501 here are an old Indian trail, especially the part which you'll see right down here, leading up over the mountain here. Big noisy truck. Oh, motorcycles actually. Alright. Motorcycles are kind of cool, but they make a lot of noise when you're trying to film. But that's the way it is. But more modern history of this spring dates back to 742. Of course, 742 might not be modern, but in terms of Native American history here. Of course, like I said, the Native Americans would have used that spring because it's right off there, one of the big trails. But in 1742, Count Zinzendorf, he was a Moravian missionary, and he used this trail to get to some of the Native American towns and villages up further north, up in Shamokin, Sunbury, and I think Wyoming. Not Wyoming the state, but Wyoming territory here in Pennsylvania. So history says that he used this spring as a place to rest, because he was a pilgrim on a journey. And of course this spring is, when you get to finally get to the top of the mountain here, you encounter this spring. So it's a nice place to rest, whether you're a pilgrim or any kind of a wanderer. Right here is one monument for it, but I think this was put up by the Blue Mountain Eagle Club, Pilger, erected to honor D.K. Hawk, director, 1935. And the spring is just down here. It has a modern day pipe coming out of it, but back in the day it wouldn't have had that. And right there is modern day 501. Of course, we will hear some more traffic. There's nothing I can do about that. I know some of you complain about the traffic noise, but you know, it is what it is. You know, if I want to make videos of these historic places, you know, we're gonna have to deal with the traffic noise sometimes. Can't do nothing about that. And right here we are. It is a nice, kind of a peaceful little spot, minus the highway. Of course, here comes some traffic. Of course, they're coming up a hill, so their engines are revving up a lot more as well. But you know, back in the 1740s, this would have been a really peaceful site with just, you know, the old trail coming up the mountain. A nice little spring right here. So right next to this spring, you do have another monument. 1742, Pilgrim's Rest, Pilger, named by Count Nicholas Ludwig von Zinzendorf, who with Conrad Weiser, who's a popular name around here, and other Moravian missionaries rested here besides this spring on their way to visit Shawnee Indians in the Wyoming Valley. Pretty cool. Good stuff. All right, well, I'm going to leave this quaint little spot. It's interesting to think that, you know, Pilgrim missionaries used to stop here. All kinds of travelers, Native Americans would have camped here probably. And this place was used a lot during the 1700s and even into the 1800s. Like I said, this old Indian path here became the major road over the mountain here in this area. I said 501 comes up out of Bethel. That is the old Topahawken path. And actually they rerouted that road in later years, make it more gentler grade up the mountain. But the original road is Fort Henry Road, which is right near where I grew up. It was often referred to as the old Shamokin Road because this old Indian trail led up to the Shamokin area. It's kind of interesting. All right, no traffic right now, but I know a lot of times I had to refilm segments because big trucks come up this mountain, tractor trailers and stuff. It's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, there are a lot of trucks on the road because they are trying to get supplies out to places that need them during this time. So it is what it is. But right now it's kind of quiet. All right, well, I'm gonna head back up to the Appalachian Trail. I'm gonna be making another video, going to another place from my junior high years that I just saw on the satellite images because I was kind of looking around here again. Anyway, some more traffic is coming. All right. Thanks for coming along with me, and I'll see you in the next video.